Princess Dragamirov's parasol!
It is far out of your reach, mademoiselle. The most generous of kidnappers. It appears that all of your belongings are restored to you. Mais non, the key to the security room of the baggage car is missing.
Monsieur Poirot.
It occurs to me in spite of everything that the murder may not have to do with the Armstrong case at all. We have much evidence pointing to the existence of an outsider aboard the plane. One who disguises himself, uses stilettos to kill, then vanishes into the snow. What do you think? Or he could be out there in a frozen snowdrift or lying broken at the bottom of a rocky ravine. The body may never be found until the spring thaw. I enjoy the investigation, monsieur. I certainly do not enjoy the fact that a man has been killed.
And that is everything I have discovered so far.
We progress, mademoiselle. Let us see what we can learn.
Can we use the ham radio to help the investigation?
Oh, but certainement. This is a marvelous stroke of luck. Too often the coincidences, they help the criminal. What a refreshing change to have one that will aid Poirot. I have a friend, Monsieur Louis. His son Barnabas is a boy of much energy and interests. One of these is the radio of Ham, as his proud father reports in a recent correspondence. Young Barnaby can be our eyes and ears in the outside world. His letters to call are there in my valise in the letter from his father. Use the radio of Ham to find out more from him about our current predicament. Oh, he is an invaluable asset, mademoiselle. Do not forget to secure his letters, or you will not have the information needed to reach young Barnaby.
This book of Masterman's reveals more than he knows.
Love's Captive by the inestimable Mrs. Arabella Richardson, yes. And what does it reveal to you?
Beneath that very proper exterior, Masterman is a hopeless romantic.
Perhaps. But I fear that this revelation would only be of embarrassment to Monsieur Masterman. It does not advance our investigation.
This driving license indicates Foscarelli has been a chauffeur.
A not unnatural profession for a man who loves the motor cars.
Hildegard Schmidt's recipe box is suggestive.
You remember at dinner how she was most opinionated with the waiter while studying the menu? And the label on the box, it is interesting as well. My lady's recipes. Now that suggests that she is accustomed to cooking for her employers. Not a duty one attaches to the lady's maid, n'est-ce pas?
Mary Debenham's handkerchief does not match the one found next door.
No, despite the middle name of Hermione beginning with an H, I did not think that the expensive handkerchief would belong to her. No, the handkerchief of Mademoiselle Debenham is precisely the type one might expect to find in the luggage of a young Englishwoman of her class.
The postcard I found in Greta Olsen's suitcase tells a story.
This card, it speaks to Poirot in many ways. Coney Island is, I think, on the Long Island of New York in America. A country she claims not to have visited. Mademoiselle Olsen does not send the postcard to Sweden as she perhaps intended, but saves it as a keepsake for herself. It is not a happy memory, this. A last brief moment in the sun for a family soon to be swept away by the storm.
The scarlet kimono turns up in my luggage. I swear to you it does not belong to me.
Oh, mademoiselle, I have no doubt of that. You have vigorously pursued its owner's identity. No. It is a defiance, you understand? It is a gauntlet thrown down. Very well. We take it up.
The handkerchief with the H belongs to the princess.
I confess I should have remembered that in the Cyrillic alphabet, Arch is written as N. And she has a strong motive to want Ratchet dead. But are we meant to believe that this elderly woman prances about in the scarlet silk kimono? Or could strike with such ferocity?
Schmidt is accustomed to cooking for her employers, as we suspected.
And her mistake in how long she has been in the employ of the princess is remarkable. A difference 1/3 less than her mistress claims. 10 years. We must look deeper into this. What course do you suggest?
I will not ask the Countess the name of the Armstrong cook. I will radio to Barnaby.
A wise decision, I think.
Boscarelli was the Armstrong chauffeur.
It was a deduction most simple.
Masterman was Colonel Armstrong's valet.
And his Batman during the war.
Greta Olsen was Daisy Armstrong's nurse.
This may explain the zeal with which she cares for her young charges at her mission, and why she never had any children of her own.
The nursemaid Suzanne, who threw herself to her death, was French.
Wait, to know her full name might be instructive.
The Armstrong nurse was named New Daughter.
An odd name, that. What nationality do you think?
Slavic or Scandinavian?
Well, perhaps. I think that the Countess has the most fanciful mind and is quite adept at the word games. She is playing them now. Noi Daughter sounds, I think, only by coincidence, vaguely Scandinavian. Olsen is, of course, authentic Scandinavian.
New Daughter. New Daughter. Olsen. Old Son.
It is not yet fact, but it is worth pursuing.
Helena Gilbert's governess was an old hag named Freebody.
What an unfortunate name for an old hag is Freebody. It is more apt a name for the generation of flippers.
Flappers. The fast young women were called flappers in America. Thank goodness skirts are finally lengthening again.
As you say. I wonder if during your time at university in England you had occasion to patronize the clothing shops for the fashionable woman in London.
No, Monsieur Poirot, not on a student's budget.
There is such a shop near my own tailor called Debenham and Freebody, and the description the Countess gives to you is as far from the attractive young woman Mary Debenham as one could hope to get.
The Countess recognized no one on the train.
Including Madame la Princesse, her sister's godmother. Monsieur McQueen she may also have seen, but he has grown much, of course, and the appearance changes. But a woman of the advanced years of the princess does not change so much, I think. No, I find this lack of recognition the most damning point against the Countess in all of her evasions and lies. So you see now why the Countess's failure to recognize anyone grows beyond suspicious.
Perhaps she is nearsighted. If she were the second murderer in Ratchet's room last night, that might explain why she didn't notice he was already dead.
You know, at times you remind me so of my good friend Hastings. Merci, mademoiselle. Unfortunately, the report, it is not yet complete. We are now armed with much more additional knowledge than before. Continue the investigation, and do not be afraid to go over the ground you have already covered.
The letter. Now I'd better put Monsieur Poirot's clothes back exactly as I found them. I bent the blade of the butter knife back on itself. A makeshift telegraph key. I constantly amaze myself. I suppose that will do as a telegraph key. The copper bracelet is now straight with a hooked end. I'm on the right track, but I think I need to do something else first. With any luck, that will power the radio, at least for a short time. There, the radio is ready to be used.
Superb, mademoiselle. You do not need to learn the Morse code if you have the book as reference.
That will save the cell from draining while I'm not using it. There, the radio is ready to be used. That will save the cell from draining while I'm not using it. There, the radio is ready to be used. That will save the cell from draining while I'm not using it.